This video is brought to you by Ageless Geeks.
Cowabunga dudes and dudettes, this is Anthony, aka BatBomb82, and today I'll be doing a review of the Star Wars The Black Series, The Mandalorian, The Child. Now, taking a look at the front, we can see that the figure is showcased in a very tiny window box Black Series packaging. Turning the box around, we can see a bunch of write-ups, as well as a bunch of warning signs saying this is a very small figure in a bunch of languages. So with the box out of the way, let's crack this figure open and see what we have inside. Alright guys, now let's take a closer look at the Child. So I finally got my Hasbro Pulse order in, and I'm so stoked to add this little dude to the collection. He's so tiny, man. I mean, you can see him on my fingers here. He is very, very little, and he might be the tiniest figure I've ever reviewed because he's just so adorable. I love this so much. And I'm finding my camera having a little trouble to focus, so hopefully that's a good view for you guys right there. But man, look at this little guy. Eyes look really good. The ears and all that look nice. I mean, I love this so much. He's just a little guy. I love it. The curls on the folds of the clothing looks really nice. Kind of detailing in the ear looks really good. His tiny little fingers. You can see he has feet on the bottom right there. A little bit of writing back there. But yeah, I think overall this looks really cool. I think they did a very good job with such an extremely little figure. I think he rocks, to be honest with you. So, there's not a whole lot you're going to get with this guy because he is such a small little figure. And I'll show you this guy real quick. So here's the Mandalorian that I have right here. I mean, and you'll see size comparisons later, but he goes up to like his calf. That's how little this guy is. And this is a 6-inch figure right here. So, I mean, you can see how tiny he really is, but that's so freaking awesome. I love just having the duo right here. I love it so much. So let's run down a few things that he does have here. So we do get a little thing of accessories right here, and it comes with a little clear acrylic case like that. And you can see the little knob from the Mando ship, his little bowl of like soup or whatever he was drinking, and then the little like frog-like creature that he was, well, he ate, you know what I mean? But you could keep them in there. You could pull all these things out, and this is just a cool little accessory too. And you'll see pictures of all this stuff later on. But the thing is, like, it's almost impossible for him to hold this kind of stuff. You can see the little cup right there. It's really tricky to hold that, and the little ball from the little knob. So he does have this little hand right here that's kind of like held out. So you can kind of like get that in there, and this is really tricky to do. It's tricky to do on camera. Right here, let me see. You can kind of get it right there. No, yeah, kind of like that, resting in the hand like that. So it's tricky, man. He doesn't really get a grip on anything. I was kind of hoping, and I know it's like an impossible task for him to get that like two-handed poses, and arm just fell off. And I'm gonna talk about that in a second here, because these pieces are so, and I have big fat fingers, so these pieces are really hard to hold on to. I was kind of hoping to get that thing where you can two-hand his little cup here to make it look like he's drinking it. But that's kind of tricky to do. This one's extremely hard. It's almost impossible to even get him to hold this in any way. So if you're going to do that with him, I suggest maybe getting a very tiny little piece of like sticky tack or something like that to get it stuck in his hand. So yeah, then you can just pose this little frog dude in front of him, you know, kind of chasing around again. You'll see pictures later, but still, this is really cool. I love this. I also love the fact that we get this little acrylic case right here, so you can put like the little ball right in there, and then his cup thing in there like so, and then the little frog in that, because these are extremely small accessories. Put that little case back on, and then you can hold them together like that and keep them nice and safe, or even display it like this with the actual figure itself. And you can see how, I mean, just this case of accessories is like the size of the actual figure itself too, you know what I mean? So that's insane. I still love this so much. What an adorable little figure. So with that, we don't get a lot of accessories because, how much do you really expect? Let's run down the articulation real quick. So the head is on a ball joint. It does kind of roll around. You're going to get left and right and up and down a tiny, tiny bit. The arms are on ball pegs, so they're going to go full 360. They do pop out of the sockets fairly easily. I notice when I'm posing them around, they do come off fairly easily, but you can get them in there. And they'll stay in there for the most part. Like that. And now, of course, when I'm on camera, I'm going to have a little trouble, and this one kind of goes at an angle, so there it is. Okay, I've also tried rotating the hands here. It looks like you can swivel them around, so that's pretty good, both hands on that. And then the feet themselves are on little ball pegs. You can see little ball pegs in there. So it's a little tricky because, again, it's so tiny, but you can move them around on those little ball pegs, even though it's going to stand flat like that, so it really doesn't even matter that they're even there, to be honest with you. So still, I love this little guy. He's just so tiny. Again, I think this is probably the smallest figure I have ever reviewed, and I love it. He's just so awesome, and if you love the Mandalorian show like I do, then you're definitely going to want this little fella because he is absolutely a must-get. So for a quick size comparison, here he is standing next to a Marvel Legends Deadpool and NECA Batman figures. Also for comparison, here he is standing next to a Star Wars The Black Series Mandalorian and Heavy Infantry Mandalorian. And for even more comparison, here he is standing next to the Star Wars The Black Series Yoda figure. And just for fun, here he is with little Lego Bat Bomb. So there it is, guys, my review of the Star Wars The Black Series, The Child. Now I'm super stoked to finally get this figure in hand because, man, he really fits in my hand. He is definitely the smallest figure I've ever reviewed, and probably the smallest figure in my entire collection. He's adorable, he's badass, he's actually a really well done figure. For being such a tiny piece, he's really awesome, and I'm super stoked to add him to my Star Wars collection. So please comment, like, and subscribe. Stay nerdy, my friends. Peace.